Dr. Strengoit here. Are you bored in COVID lockdown waiting for the vaccine? Would you like a basically free HHN collectible? Are you interested in learning about the Schoolhouse from HHN18? Well, let's get into it right now. We don't need no education. September, October, November. Now it's time to remember. The trick-or-treat time of year, Bloody Mary will show you fear. 'Cause murder is the lesson. School is now in session. Are you interested in learning a little bit about the Schoolhouse? Because it might show up at HHN30. Why is that? Because it's set in Cary, Ohio. One of the houses is a best-of house based upon the properties that have been at the event from Cary, Ohio. Today, we're going to learn the history of the Schoolhouse from HHN18, talk about building your own HHN model, and discuss Ray Keim, the Universal creative who is behind this project. In 2008, Universal decided to have a scare zone that was a semi-sequel to the 2005 haunted house, The School. Like the house, the scare zone would feature many small children going around wreaking havoc. The scare zone was located outside of the Mel's Drive-In restaurant. The scare zone is somewhat famous for the large schoolhouse structure built for the scare zone. Universal's description of the house read, "Mr. Renshaw's class has always been good. Mr. Renshaw's class has never broken the rules. Mr. Renshaw's class has always been perfect little angels. All of that changes when the kids from the Schoolhouse cut class. The children of the quaint town of Cary, Ohio, are out to teach everyone that their version of trick-or-treat may be the difference between your life and death." For a little backstory on the Schoolhouse was a school where Bloody Mary's grandmother, Mary Worthington, worked as a teacher. She disappeared on August 27, 1908, as the result of a prank gone horribly wrong orchestrated by the school handyman. 6 students were also involved in the prank. When the schoolmaster, Mr. Renshaw, opened the schoolhouse the next day, he found it in complete disarray with blood and shards of glass scattered across the floor. Although suspected to have been murdered, Mrs. Worthington's body was never found and was classified missing. However, this was not the end of the story. After Mary Agana received the belongings of Mrs. Worthington from her late mother and later became a psychiatrist, she began to target the children of those involved in the prank, suggesting she either wanted revenge for what happened to her grandmother or was possessed by Worthington herself. So, are you interested in this paper model of the Schoolhouse? Do you know Ray Keim? Well, you should. Today we're going to learn a little about Ray, his history with Halloween Horror Nights, and his paper models he makes available for free to the haunt community. In 2004, while recovering from cancer surgeries, Ray decided to use his convalescence time to produce his own model of the Disney World Haunted Mansion. He realized that with a few minor adjustments and proper instructions, it could be shared with others. From this, his website Haunted Dimensions was born. 2 years later, Ray had the opportunity to interview for a temporary freelance job at Universal Orlando for a gig with Halloween Horror Nights. He brought his Haunted Dimensions models to the interview along with examples of his digital art. Ray got the job, which led to a complete unexpected dream career as a theme park artist and designer. It was a long, crooked path that began with a hobby, which was born from anxiety, and led to a wonderful opportunity. By the way, Ray's cancer was successfully removed. Ray was on the Halloween Horror Nights design team from 2006 until 2016. He contributed theme park concepts, scenic design, illustrations, and storylines for the event. He was a designer for Halloween Horror Nights attractions, show sets, and streets programs. He was a media designer and digital illustrator for the Halloween Horror Nights websites from 2006 to 2016. He was the illustrator and graphic designer for the Halloween Horror Nights interactive online and in-park game, Legendary Truth: The Collective. I personally can't thank Ray enough, as Legendary Truth: The Collective at HHN23 cemented my obsession with Halloween Horror Nights. First as a designer for Halloween Horror Nights, then as a dimensional designer and model maker for Universal Creative. Recently, Ray was made a designer of concept illustration, where he has the amazing opportunity to help visualize new attractions, parks, and shows for Universal worldwide. Ray directs, conceives, and produces digital illustrations, concept art, interactive game design, scenic design, show sets, props, and scale models for theme parks worldwide. Ray Keim has been publishing under the name and logos of Haunted Dimensions since September 2004. A huge thank you goes out to Ray for making freely available plans for building HHN house models, such as the one displayed here. If you haven't visited yet, please go check out his website, haunteddimensions.raykeim.com. So I'm really curious, which of Ray's models would you love to build for your own collection? Let me know in the comments down below. And please, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.